Yeah, I think also it's coming from a place of hurt. It's coming from a place of
Trauma.
pain.
Like when I hear that story, I just hear trauma. Boom. It's like a big red trauma flashing, right? Because and then he said, wait a minute, hold up.
Hold up, wait a minute. Let me put
It
some
is
woman in
not
it.
good that man be alone.
Not good. And they hopped right up and took whatever it was from them and did, I'll do it.
Okay. That's deep.
That is super deep. I don't need a man.
with the neck roll.
Right. I'm about to set you free. You are not the problem. See, there's a very clear path from your experiences to your reality. Our experiences travel from our hearts to our thoughts to our actions and words. Words that have power to create reality. But here's the secret. Reality is changeable when you change your heart. Hello, beautiful ones. Welcome to the Melanin Medicine Podcast. I am your host, Naila, and you know that here we are all about helping you get free and be great. And the only way you can do that is by overcoming your issues. So let me help you overcome your first issue, commitment issues, by hitting that subscribe button and also that bell so you don't miss out when we upload. Today we are blessed to have with us a beautiful woman who is a wife and a mother. She has her Bachelor of Science in General Management. She's also a youth leader and the co-editor and writer of the Gospel Voice magazine. Help me welcome the beautiful Mr. Chambers-Garner.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi, everybody.
Well, I am so happy to have you.
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
For sure, and thank you for coming. So like we said, we're going to do the real process. But before we even get there, I wanted to talk a little bit about our topic, which is the I don't need a man woman.
Ciao.
Child. So what I did was I got the definition need so we could put it into better perspective. The definition of need, and that is to require something because it is essential or very important. So we want to keep that in mind while we're talking. If you don't need a man, that you don't feel that you require it because it's not essential or very important. So the question is, do you really need a man? And we're going to get there, but I just want to know first, have you felt this way before?
Have I? Not entirely. No. I have been in a place where I was like, I didn't want a man. Okay. Want and need, though, totally different.
Mm-hmm.
I know many women who don't feel that they need one, but I have not personally felt that way. What about you?
Never. I need a man kind of woman.
Hey.
Like, I love being in a relationship. I love love. I am a hopeless romantic. So yeah, I definitely need a man, and I'm not attracted to women. So
thank you, Disney. Thank you, every romantic movie, The Notebook.
Right.
Yes, I have always felt like I'm gonna need me a man.
I'm gonna need me a man.
At some point, I'm gonna need me a man.
Absolutely. I mean, think about this. God created man. It wasn't.
Did you hear that? That was a fault.
God created man and said it was very good.
Said it was good.
Very
and then
good.
Immediately gave him instruction to rule.
Right.
The first thing he told him to take care of the garden, tend to he gave him work to do, and he told him he gave him rule over the animals and over the land that he was in. And then what happened?
And then
it was the first time out of all the creations God made. Every day he said, "It is good. It is good. Animals is good. Light is good. Man is good." And then he said, "Wait a minute. Hold up.
Wait a minute. Let me put some woman in it.
It is not good that man be alone.
Not good."
And he had the animals, but he was still alone. Yes. In God's eyes, this is not the kind of help he needs. Yes. He needs some real help. Let me send him some help. And then he didn't send him help. He put him to sleep. This was a
Mm-hmm.
surgery.
Come on now. The first surgery known to man.
Took his rib out.
Mm-hmm.
That's deep.
That is super deep.
That's deep. Took his rib out and created woman for man.
Exactly. So this is where you came from. If not for man,
You would
you would.
not be here.
Come on now. And you said you don't need them. I don't know. We're gonna have to bake different now. Let's get into this thing now.
Mm-hmm.
So why do you think it's such a problem though for a woman to say, I don't need a man?
Well, there's tons of reasons.
Okay.
But let's start at kind of piggybacking off what you just said, right? If not for the man, you wouldn't even be here. Listen, we some
Mm-hmm.
Bible believers. We believe that the
Amen.
word is true,
The
that
word is
God
true.
created the man and then he took his rib and created the woman. But even on a simpler version, if you, okay, let's say you don't believe in all of that,
Mm-hmm.
to get here,
Mm-hmm.
your mother
Mm-hmm.
needed a man
Needed a man.
in order to conceive you.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't even be able to be in the womb had not been for a man. And even if
Exactly.
you're doing all these extra little procedures and stuff, guess what? They still gonna have to take something from that man
Mm-hmm.
in order to conceive that child.
Yep.
So we need a man.
Still need him.
It's a I feel like it's kind of a delusional type of issue at its
Yeah.
core, saying that you don't need it. Without it, you wouldn't be here. And
Yeah.
then second, it is the fact that so if you have children, let's just start there. If you have children and you're saying that you don't need a man, that's a problem. That's a huge problem.
Mm-hmm.
Every child, every little girl, every little boy needs their father in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Just as much as they need their mother, they need their father.
Yes.
There's an emotional, mental effect at least that that affects that child if they don't have the father in their lives.
Yeah. I think also it's coming from a place of hurt. It's coming from a place of pain. Someone who hasn't been hurt or has a issue with men does not say things like that. So what happens is, if the man is absent or if the man has hurt you and you walked away, we end up as women becoming hyper independent, right? Because it's okay to be independent, right? Yeah, I can take care of me. I can go to work. I'm gonna make sure I'm good, that kind of thing. But when you become hyper independent, you are averse to help.
Mm.
And that doesn't just show up in romantic relationships. That's going to show up everywhere.
Where else would that show up?
So I know a person who recently they are in a situation where they have a heavy burden on them every single day, 24/7, and they absolutely need help. And they're always fussing about people not helping them.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched somebody try to help them the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and they hopped right up and took whatever it was from them and I'll do it.
Okay.
So now you are hyper independent
Mm-hmm.
because you don't need no man.
Yeah.
And she is the type of person who don't need no man.
Yeah. And it just clearly points to trauma. Like when I
Mm-hmm.
hear that story, I just hear trauma. Boom. It's like a big red trauma flashing, right? Because where did you get this idea that you didn't need help in general?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs help.
Yes.
Remember, when he made Adam, he said it's not good for man to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he created Eve, but then he also told them to what? Be fruitful and multiply.
Yes.
So I think it's very important for us to go back to the beginnings of creation to really figure out, well, what did God really mean for humans when he created us? And he wanted us to be in communion with each other. He wanted us to live in harmony, and he wanted us to help each other. If I feel like I can do everything by myself, why do I need anyone or anything else? Why do I want children if I feel like I don't need, like, why do I want them here?
Yeah.
And then I bring them into a world where they can only get what they need from me.
Yeah, and I don't have all the resources to be able to do that. If I did, God wouldn't have never set it up that way. So let's talk about that, what you just touched on, the collateral damage of the man being absent. So I went and got some statistics. Okay. So nationally, 1 in 4 children live in a household without a father. In black families, that's 3 out of 5, which means it's more than 2 out of 4, more than half of our children are living in homes without their father. 66% of juvenile delinquents live in fatherless households. They are 4 times more likely to be in poverty. And this is the big one people never even think about or consider. I'm sorry. People who are married live longer. Married men live longer. Married women live longer than the average single person.
Yes.
So that is those stats are remarkable.
Astounding.
Like, I think we just don't take these things into consideration. And like you said, we got to go back to the beginning. We just never just go back there.
Yeah.
And the trauma, you did touch on the trauma too. The trauma in our DNA from the way America has treated us for over 400 years. That's already there before you even get the other trauma. And trauma begets more trauma, trauma, trauma. So you got to go fix that stuff.
Yeah.
And once you do that, you won't be saying, I don't need no man.
Limiting yourself and limiting your children. That's what
Mm-hmm.
I hear too, like limiting. You limit the
Mm.
children from having a relationship with a man. One thing that really is so important to me is that a woman can never teach a little boy how to become a man.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not your experience. You do
Mm-hmm.
not know how to be a proper man. Yeah, when he grows up, he'll be the age of a man, but will he know how to provide? Will he know how to deal with the instincts that are in him that he was
Mm-hmm.
born with? How does he cope when society looks at him a certain way, especially as a black man,
Mm-hmm.
right? How do you take care of your wife? How do you take care of your children when you grew up in a home where the mother took care of it all? And
Right.
today we see so many households. I know many of marriages where the woman is the head of the house and
Mm-hmm.
everything is in disarray, and
Mm-hmm.
it leads to all these divorces, right? We
Mm-hmm.
see the divorce rate shooting up. I think very recently it's starting to go down,
Hmm.
but over the years growing up, we saw the divorce rate just shooting up, shooting up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's a huge problem, and it just feeds into all these other problems, and it's destroying the families.
Mm-hmm. I love that you used that word limiting. It kind of spoke to my spirit, limiting. I'm limiting you in being a man. I'm limiting you in being successful. I'm limiting you in growing. I'm limiting, yeah,
I'm
that
limiting
is,
myself
yeah.
from the type of love that I could give to someone
Mm-hmm.
else. There is no other love to me like the love between a man and a woman.
There isn't.
Every type of love, every relationship is a little bit different, right? Your
Mm-hmm.
relationship with your parents, your children, your friends, but there is something different about being in love with a man
Absolutely.
as a woman, especially a man who knows what love truly is. We're not talking about no dogs and the ones that are lazy and don't handle their business. We're
Mm-hmm.
talking about good, respectable men who
Yeah.
take care of their families. And it's really important to me.
Me too.
I don't know. I know what I would do without my man, but I would not choose that.
No,
I
why?
would
I
not
mean,
choose
why
that
would
for my life.
anybody want to choose that,
Yeah.
right? And at this point, and I didn't even want to go here, but it's just it has to be said. As a woman who has been hurt repeatedly by men, we have to take some accountability. Um, I'm not responsible for his actions per se, but I am responsible for my choices. Like, what led me to choose this type of man, right?
Whew.
So now I need to fix that. Once I fix that, then I can choose the right type of man and reject the wrong type of man.
Yeah.
And now I don't feel like I don't need a man because now I have the right man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you get down to the nitty gritty. Okay. I asked a woman not too long ago. We were talking and I said, do you want to get married? And she said, yeah, she's been in a relationship with a guy for years.
Hmm.
And I was just wondering, not what was taking so long, but it just didn't seem like there was a plan in place,
Hmm.
or any intentions of getting married, but that's her desire. And I said, well, where did you meet this man? Because she doesn't feel like one man is enough, basically.
Mm.
So she's not on the I don't need a man type of deal, but she does feel like she needs more than one man to fill the different spots in her life. And I believe she said a bar, right?
Mm.
And I'm not saying that the bar is a bad place to meet a man, but if every time you meet a man it's in some place where I don't know, it's just not in the most desirable place, right?
Yeah, yeah.
you might want to change your scenery, right?
Mhm.
Maybe you want to. Hey, I'm gonna tell you to go to church, but it's some men in the church that's some fools, right? But
Absolutely.
just in general, change your setting, change your scenery. Maybe you
Mhm.
need to start doing a different type of profession, or
Mhm.
going out to uh like live shows and things like that. Kind of change it up a little bit
Go to
because
the golf course.
right,
There's a
okay,
bunch of men up there.
okay, get creative with it because you
Yeah.
never know who's out there that you haven't met. And we're in
Mhm.
one area. If you dated men from the same city all your
Yeah.
life, get out the city.
Yeah.
Okay, go to another city in your state, or go to another state, go to another country, baby. You
Definitely.
never know where a good man may be just sitting there waiting perfectly for you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so the thing about the I don't need a man, to me, it could be three different ways they're saying it. So the first way, some people are just like we just said, I'm working on me. I'm not ready for a man. I don't need a man. So they don't necessarily mean it in the way that we are talking about.
Okay.
Right. Or some people might say, I don't need a man, as in, I want a man, but I'm okay right now without one. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's a single woman with no kids, that kind of thing. And then there are those who, I don't need a man.
With the neck roll.
Right. Because they feel the man doesn't bring any value to their life. And so now, this, for me, this is a big issue, because if I tell you you are something long enough, you will begin to believe me. I think that's a lot of the reason why our people are in the place we're in, because somebody else told us so long that we were something, and then we began to act accordingly. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother
Whole
day.
nother episode. But it
Right.
fits perfectly, yes.
Yeah, so if I tell a man enough, I don't need you, I don't need you, I don't need you, you have no value, you have no value, you have no value, what do you think he's going to do? Eventually, he's going to start to carry himself as if he doesn't have any value.
And that is a core part of a man. A man needs to feel needed.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, his job was to rule the earth and the animals and everything. He needed to be there to keep things in order. That's his job. All
Mm-hmm.
right, to provide and to protect and to create. And they work with their hands and all these things, and we tell them, or we either tell them, or we show them with our actions that we don't need you. I
Mm-hmm.
don't really need you. I
Mm-hmm.
can do all this by myself. I can make all the money in the
Mm-hmm.
world. We know how educated women are these days and how many jobs they have, and it's great. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I do believe if in your relationships that always trumps, right? Like my
Mm-hmm.
job comes first, or my career comes first, or my kids come first,
Mm-hmm.
that it bruises the man's
Yeah,
ego. It
yeah.
bruises him a little bit, and he says, "Well, they don't need me anyway."
Right. And then eventually,
He leaves.
yeah. And so I know we want to point fingers back and forth. It's his fault because he left. It's her fault because she da 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 da. It is time for our people to stop pointing fingers at each other. We really need to get real right now, because there is an intentional attack on the romantic relationship, aka the Black family unit. If you are paying attention on social media, because everything on social media is real, right? Uh, but no, seriously, there are so many people, men and women, who are attacking the opposite gender 24/7, and they have huge followings. So it's men saying, oh, Black women this, da 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 da, the passport bros this, and then you got the other girls over here like Tanya TKO, who are, I'm not doing it, I'm not marching for them, I hate them, it's
Is she
like,
now?
yeah, yeah, we're not marching for
Ooh.
them. Let me tell you something. This was not birthed out of the Black community. This was dumped on the Black community. And we just take the ish, for lack of a better word. I'm not going to curse because I love Jesus. But
Let's keep it cute
let's
now.
keep
Let's
it
keep
cute.
it cute.
Yeah, they dump it on us and we take it and run with it. And I am over it. It is time that we stop, take a breath, look at each other, and figure this out.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I mean, I love the Black community. I do believe because that's who I'm mostly in close quarters with. That's who I'm going to serve first. That's who I care about first, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's an attack spiritually on marriage in general. If you
Yeah.
look at the way that America is going, and
Mhm.
we're always more affected by every single issue. Black people are always more negatively affected than any other group of people, right? But
Mhm.
marriage is not even held, it's not held to the same standard. It's being completely disrespected and in some cases disregarded.
Mhm.
We have forgotten, because we've forgotten about God and we've done things our own way, just like Eve and
Mhm.
Adam up in the garden. We have forgotten why he instituted marriage in the first place and how he saw
Mhm.
for it to be. And so now, yes, there is an attack on the families with all sorts of agendas. We won't go there
Mhm.
again. That's another topic for another day. But
Mhm.
we need to take responsibility. I
Yeah.
think if the man will take responsibility and say, you know, I've been absent from the home. You bruised me. Y'all
Mhm.
made us feel like we weren't worth anything. You didn't need us, so we left you and let you do it on your own. And if the woman will just say, you know what, I did do that. I did make you feel
Mhm.
a certain way. I felt like you weren't enough or that you weren't adding any value to my life. So I went out and did your job for you because I didn't
Mhm.
like the way you were doing your job, right?
Right.
If we just keep
Different.
it real,
Yeah.
and that's how my marriage is, that's how a marriage should be, where we
Yes.
look each other in the eye and say, hey, I fell short. I didn't meet your expectation or
Mhm.
where I should have been when we took our vows. I told you I would do this and I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Then we can come together and reconcile.
Mhm. And that's what needs to happen on a global. Maybe we need to plan something. But I told a girl earlier on social media, she said she had just got married and was there any advice for a Christian couple? And so I told her first, have a code word, right? That means we need to stop and pray. So it could be apples in
Ooh,
the sky. If we screaming and hollering at each other, apples in the sky, stop and pray. Pray all the time. Remember that your marriage is your marriage. Don't let anybody insert themselves in it, even the people in the church.
ooh,
And definitely remember when you have an issue, the issue is the issue. You are a team. Y'all want the same thing. So attack the issue,
not
not
your
each
partner.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like right now we're doing the opposite.
Ooh.
That's the whole point. I said that long thing. But
The
we're
opposite.
doing the opposite of attacking the issue
Hmm.
and we're attacking each other.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it's easy to do that because we don't get a manual on relationships when we're
Mm-hmm.
young. If we are lucky, we get to see our mother and our father's relationship, and maybe a few other relationships around us, and that's all we really have to go off of, other than television. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so we get into these relationships and we're doing what we've seen,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not. It has nothing to do with our relationship for the most part. We can take some root morals and values from people around us and people that raised us.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, this is a whole different thing.
Yeah,
And
because
we
we
have to,
hold two different people.
two different people than everyone else we've ever known, right? And so this
Mm-hmm.
union is unique. And
Yeah.
we have to learn one another.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
Hmm.
So, well, we already talked about what do we think the motive comes from. Um, we think that it comes from hurt, right? Pain, that type of thing. And that hurt could come from my dad wasn't there, or my dad abused me, or I was abused as a child by other people,
Yeah.
or my boyfriend broke my heart, or my husband cheat. You know, it's just so
So
many
many things.
things. And somebody said, "Don't make your new person pay for the sins of your old person." That is like so huge to me. And like you said, you are limiting yourself. Not only are you limiting yourself, you are robbing yourself
Ooh,
of what you could have.
yeah.
Because I'm not the same as you. You're not the same as me. And you was in here for 9 months and I pushed you out and everything. So
And we
I'm
got our similarities. We both keep leaning back
oh
and coming back,
yeah, that's a
you know.
family thing.
But we are different.
Yeah, and so if she hurt you, that don't mean I'm gonna hurt you. If I hurt you, that don't mean she's gonna. You know what I mean? So we have to stop with the yeah. He hurt me, so I don't need a man.
Yeah. I've been there, you know, oh, I'm hurt. And so then you go out and you're hurting other people. I'm
Mhm.
so happy though that I caught myself early. I don't know, I'm an overly like analytical brain type of person.
Mhm.
And so after a relationship that once was over, I regretted all my actions, I said, why was I acting like that in the first place, right?
Mm.
And it dawned on me. It's because you've been hurt time and time and time and time again. And now you realize this person really loved you, unlike those
Mhm.
other people. And you
Yeah.
have now messed them over and they don't want nothing to do with you. And I didn't
Mhm.
want to deal with that again. So I worked on myself. I said, you know what, I'm not going to treat people the way that I've been treated just because it hurt. We have to learn how to be vulnerable. Like you always say, there is so much strength in vulnerability.
Oh my gosh.
People think that, oh, blocking it out and trying to be strong, that's not strength. It's easy to
Mm-mm.
avoid the problem, avoid the situation,
Absolutely.
avoid putting your heart on the line and getting hurt.
Mhm.
That's not, I'm not gonna call it weakness, but it certainly is not strength. Strength is
No.
saying, you know what, I was hurt and I'm gonna put myself out there again
Yep.
and see what may work for me.
Mhm.
Because there are good people in this world just like there are broken ones.
Yeah, I say to some people like, um, it hurt you. I know it's they say it a different way, but I say it hurt you, but it didn't unalive you.
Okay. Yes.
Right? Like
Yeah.
what don't unalive you makes you stronger, but even if it didn't make you stronger, it didn't unalive you. It's not the end of the world. You can do it again. And and there's nothing I'm not going to say there's nothing wrong with being hurt or having there it is a natural thing that at some point in life you're going to have some hurt, you're going to have some pain. And God knew that. He created us this way. He created, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
you sometimes you have to lean into your hurt so that you can heal from it,
You
not
have
run
to.
from it.
Absolutely. And I've learned that too, knowing that, you know, pain is a part of life. And
Mhm.
when you can really just sit down and feel your pain,
Mhm.
don't try to put words to it. Don't try to do anything to block it out or, you know, avoid it, because we run to substances and we run to, you know, more people who are going to hurt us. We run into ourselves and we hide and we don't go out, we don't hang. Just sit there and feel.
Mhm. Mhm.
Just sit there and feel. Really, you know, just take some time, sit there in your feelings and
Mhm.
hurt. And if you gotta cry, cry.
Mhm.
Only one night though. Like Ty
Yeah.
Tribbett say, only one night though.
Only one night though.
Only
Dust
one night
yourself
though.
off, baby. Get
Dust
up.
yourself off and, you know, cry about it.
Mhm.
And then get up and move on.
That's perfect
Because
advice.
if you can feel your lowest lows very intensely, guess what? When it's time to celebrate and when it's time to do it up and feel good,
Yes.
you're gonna feel good intensely.
Mhm.
When you block those feelings of pain and stuff and heartbreak, you numb yourself. So when
Mhm.
good things happen to yourself, pay attention. Can you celebrate your friends? Can you really celebrate your big moments? If not, it
Yeah.
might be because you have made yourself so numb due
Mhm.
to the pain that now you can't even enjoy good things.
I know a lot of people in that position too because of their past. Who
Yeah,
people
that was
close to
me.
me. Like they are something that happens for them, I'm over here elated like, yes. 'Cause you know me, first of all, I'm rooting for everybody to
Party.
win, right?
I love that part of you. Yes.
And I'm an empath. So when you come with the good energy, my natural response, because the bad energy is all the time. So when you come with the good energy, I'm like, oh yeah, we got us one. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And then they are like
Mhm.
waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, yeah, I don't think I should
Can't
sell.
trust it.
Yeah, they
You just
cannot
waiting for that
trust
next
it.
bad thing to happen. And guess what? It will. That's part of life. But
Hmm.
while the good is happening, let's
Wow, the
celebrate.
good is
Let's have a
happening.
good time. Let's smile, scream, have fun
Mhm.
with it,
Mhm.
okay?
Kick, jump, all that stuff.
Yes.
And oh, that's what I was gonna say about that pain thing. I always tell my friends and my family, like, if you going through it and you need to call me, kick, scream, holler, whatever.
Right.
We gonna kick, scream, and holler together, and then we gonna figure it out because I'm a natural problem solver, like you. We natural problem solvers,
Yes, I have to figure out what is the root of this thing because this is not about to keep happening
right?
over and over. But yes,
That
absolutely.
analytical part of us.
And I've been the happiest I've ever been in my life just from these little tips. And that's the other thing. love Jesus and get you
Yes.
some therapy.
Yes.
Zoom in on this one.
Yes.
Get you some
Get you
therapy.
some therapy, boo.
Because Jesus is not going to be mad.
No, I
He ain't going
told
to be
you.
mad at you if you get you a therapist.
I told them last week, like, I'm so pro therapy that my therapist got to have a therapist. And if they don't have a therapist, I don't want them to be my therapist.
No, for real, because how you therapizing me?
And you ain't getting therapized.
And you don't have no therapizing going on in your house.
Right.
Uh-uh.
Yeah. So, this to me, I said, like, it's proudly wearing trauma. Like, proudly wearing trauma. Like,
It is.
I don't need a man. You know what I mean? But then on
My
the flip
dad wasn't here and I survived.
Yes.
My mama ain't had no man. I ain't got no man. My daughter ain't gonna have no
we
man.
don't need no man.
And then the son don't want to be a man.
Oh, child, let's
Oh,
not
Lord.
listen. We can, yeah. So yeah, but I'm
Yes.
like, but you wouldn't wear any other trauma like that. You wouldn't be
No.
like, I lost my so and so to cancer. You're not gonna do
So
that.
I can go get cancer. I
Right.
can make it. Like what?
Right.
We
So why
sound the same.
why are we doing this? So yeah, and then the other thing that is driving me crazy, I have to get it out there, is that it seems like in this lifetime right now that baby daddy and baby mama are goals. People are planning to have a non-foundational family.
Is that what they're doing?
That is what they're doing.
Are we talking about the same people? Because my heart is hurting for someone right now. I don't even want to say the name.
Okay.
But like,
Is
I
it a
really
celebrity?
hope. Yeah, it's
Oh,
a
say it,
celebrity.
girl.
I'm really worried about Hallie. Halle Bailey.
Oh yeah, I love her.
Please don't be pregnant.
I didn't even know that was a possibility.
Because who just hurt my feelings? I love her too, and I cannot think of her name right now, but she just hurt all my feelings.
She got pregnant.
Had that baby, went out dancing with Usher.
Oh,
and then
Kiki Palmer.
Kiki hurt my feelings. It's almost like she wanted to be
Single.
a single mother.
And that's what they're doing. They
She got
do
her
want to be
cute
single
little guy with the curly hair,
Mm-hmm.
so she can have her baby with the curly hair and the cute.
Yes.
Baby cute.
Yes.
You fine. You got your thing going on. Yes, we know that you're independent. You don't need a man.
Mm-hmm.
But that baby needs a father.
Listen.
But we want to co-parent well.
Which they don't want to be. They want to be baby mamas. Okay, let's just call a thing a thing.
And that saddens me.
Yeah, they don't want to be single mothers. They want to be baby mamas. Okay. I'm thinking, and I guess I'm angry because of the Christian Rock and the Blueface thing, because they get it on my last nerve. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is what girls are doing, and so I don't care what you think, and I'm talking directly to you, because a man in the house with their kid, as long as he is not being abusive in some manner, is going to make your kids better.
It is.
As long as he's not bringing chaos and things of that nature, yeah. And so y'all need to figure it out, work it out, have that real union so that your kids will have a shot. And I'm not saying every kid is not going to be okay after it, but the statistics do not lie. My household does not lie.
Mm-mm.
You know, my daughter and my son are well-rounded people, and I was screwed up. Okay.
Hey, you did a really good job, especially compared to some of the other things I've seen.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
The best you could do based on how you grew up.
What I had, yeah. And my son, he used to act out a whole lot, like so much to the point that when I walked into school, everybody was on me like, "You just the one I'm looking for."
Miss
No.
Miss Parker.
Miss Parker. Right, because that was my name right there. So, but now when I look at him, the man he's becoming.
Oh my gosh.
That I don't think that would be possible if my husband hadn't been in the house
if
with
he
us.
Didn't have his father for the very beginnings of his life. I think it makes a huge difference.
It does. And we used to think it was just for little girls, but it's not.
No.
It's for boys too, because like you said earlier, that man piece, I cannot teach a boy how to be a man.
I can do my best.
Yeah.
And will if I have to, right? But that boy needs a man in his life.
Yeah.
Preferably his paternal father.
Yeah, because I was just saying this the other day, like, I don't care how great your upbringing was by somebody else. You are always going to crave your biological parent. That could be if they left you, if they passed on, whatever it is.
Even if the relationship just wasn't close.
It is an innate feeling. That's why you'll see people who had wonderful parents who raised them who aren't their biological parents. And then they meet their biological parents, and their biological parents are horrible to them. Oh my God, what was that?
Somebody flew in my ear. I don't know
Jesus,
what it
thank
was.
God we're about to wrap. Uh, and
But yes,
that
Kirk
biological.
Franklin. Did you see the Kirk
No, I
Franklin?
haven't.
I didn't finish it,
I opened it, but I
but
didn't
I
watch
did
it.
see him walk up into his father's steps, and he's 51.
Wow.
And he walked up on those stairs, and I mean, he was tore up when they hugged. You could tell he was tore up.
Yeah.
It's so important.
It's so important. It's so important. If it wasn't, God wouldn't have made it that way. And the thing about it is, they said that the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And that is what our culture is doing.
Okay.
We keep on having these babies with people we are not in covenant with, God's covenant with, and then we split, and then our kids are messed up, and then they grow up to need with trauma and need therapy. We are doing it over and over and over. We are acting as if we're insane at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. And doing it over and over again, and taking it to the further extreme, thinking that, oh, it's going to get better and this is going to work. And many people think that it is working because they're either good co-parents or their children have seemingly everything that they need without the father being in their life. And it's just delusion, to be honest. Pay attention to your child. How do they deal with their anger?
Yeah.
Are they able to resolve things quickly? How are their relationships with other people, with their friends and things like that?
Do they set boundaries? Do
Do
they
they
speak up for themselves? That kind of thing.
come
Yeah.
on?
Yeah.
Come on, because it took a long time for me to do that. My dad was in and out of my life, and I had my stepfather, which thank God, but that's why I say preferably the paternal
dad.
father, because you still, even when you have someone else in your life,
You
they're gonna
yearn
teach you
that.
some of the stuff you need, absolutely, but you're still gonna have that yearning for your father. And however that relationship is, it's gonna affect your relationships with men in the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So now we went through the realize, evaluate, and address. So let's
Okay.
figure out how to let this thing go.
Ooh.
What do you think are some ways that we can move forward to actually overcome this issue?
I'm gonna need you to answer that one first because
Okay.
it's a deep issue. It's heavy.
All right. So
The
I'm going to go back to what you said earlier, which is men are the head. It is what it is. And I'm sorry, not sorry, man. We need you. We need you to step up and take your place that God created you for. He created you to lead. He created you to be fruitful. We need you, men. And don't let anybody else tell you anything different. We need you. And once you come in gently and lead us in a way where we feel safe, because that's the most important thing to a woman. If I feel secure, if I feel safe, my foundation is solid, oh baby, there's nothing you can't get out of me.
Yeah.
You can get it, okay,
Yeah,
brother?
you can't tell me nothing about my man if he make me feel secure.
Period.
It's about love. Oh, that's where I wanted to go. We want to learn what love is. People go, all day, every day. I love him. I love her. I love. What is love?
What is love?
Love is kind. It's gentle. It doesn't boast. It doesn't brag. It doesn't hold on to grudges.
It's patient.
It's patient. It is patient.
All of
Long
that.
suffering, which means it's gonna take me a long time to figure out why in the world you do that little thing. That little thing irritates the mess out of me. But I'm gonna take some time with you and stick around and see if I don't, grow to love that that quirk you have, or that you don't get better with it over time, right? Because you love me and you see that it bothers me. You have to put some time in.
Yeah, it's work. It is absolutely work. But what isn't work, and it's so worth the reward, when you really put it in there.
I would love to see us support what we want to see. I think a lot of times because there's all these different agendas, things get pushed on us and the people support it.
Mhm.
Right? So mess gets pushed on us, we support it, and then those people become super famous. They become celebrities. If we
Mhm.
band together, we are a force. So if we support those loving, cute couples who, you know, role model how a
Mhm.
man should be toward his wife, how a woman should be for her husband,
Yeah.
then they will get pushed up and we will see them more. Let's support them.
Yeah, I
You
absolutely
know,
agree with that.
quit
That's
clicking on Krishan and whoever,
oh,
Blueface. Quit clicking on their stuff.
yes,
Stop watching
please
it.
reset your algorithm because
If
I
we
gotta
all
go.
stop watching it, they wouldn't be able to push it on us
Yeah,
the way they
absolutely.
are. I have never seen anything about it, and somehow I know their business. How?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I follow certain people because they keep me up on current pop culture because I do want to know what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
But since they are always at the forefront of pop culture, they always going to be, in there. I just kind of skip over it. But yesterday I didn't
Hmm.
because I guess I was feeling a little, I need to be entertained, you know.
Yeah, and it happens.
And then it made me so angry. And I was like, oh my goodness, why do we keep talking? If we stop talking about them now,
Absolutely.
like you just said, we just need to
Every
stop
time
talking
they
about
come up on your timeline,
them. Yeah, yeah.
less of this.
And more of that. Like,
And when you see those couples that are like, I love Tabitha Brown and Chance, her
yes,
husband. They are
yes.
just so
They so cute.
it. You know, I'm
Yeah.
gonna love it every time.
Yes.
Even sometimes I don't feel like watching the video. I just sit there and watch it. I want the algorithm to know that this is what I
This
support.
is
You
what I
know,
like. Yes.
it's the little things.
Yeah, it is. And they love on each other.
They do.
So yeah, that's what we need more of. So for me, it's the men come through, be what God called you to be. You have absolutely, and not all of you, but far too many of you have abandoned the throne. Okay, and then this is the other part of that, and this is not even. So when you abandon the throne, the woman just kept looking at it like
Hmm.
that thing is so empty and it's been empty so long. So guess what she had to do? She had to slide on over into that thing, and then you have the nerve to come tell her how she's not doing your job correctly. No, ma'am, sir. I'm gonna need you come and tell her, baby, it's okay for you to.
You've done an all right
Yeah,
job.
great job. So go ahead and slide on over.
Now you can come. You can take a break.
Yeah, let me sit in this. I got this.
Kick your feet up.
Yeah,
I'll take over now.
yeah.
And don't worry, I'm gonna treat you good. I'm gonna treat you right.
Exactly. And when you talk gentle, when you make her gentle, I'm not gonna do the whole feminine energy, masculine energy, which I agree, but when you gently talk to her, she will soften for you.
Hmm.
And
There's a balance that we desire.
mm-hmm,
We want you to be strong and able to, we want you to be a force. But
mm-hmm,
once it comes to us, we want to feel that gentleness, that softness, that kindness, and
absolutely,
then we'll kind of melt
yes.
and just kind of sit back and say, okay, you got it, all right.
Well,
Cool.
thank you, Jesus.
Finally.
Right. I had I made a video yesterday, a TikTok video that said, what if a man, no, a melanin man provided a melanin woman's needs and a melanin woman provided a melanin man's needs? What if, like, what would be, there's no issue then? Like, it's done.
We good.
So simple.
Children happy, the mama happy, the
Right.
daddy happy.
Everybody's happy.
Yes.
All right. So, I don't know if we want to do affirmations today. We normally do affirmations at the end of the episode.
We do.
Yeah. Yeah. But I feel like neither one of us really have this particular issue. But I think we could come up with something, an affirmation.
I can say I will continue to make my husband feel needed.
No, you're supposed to give me one.
Oh, I'm supposed
And
to
I'm
give you
supposed to give
one
you
and you
one.
supposed
Hmm.
to. So do I say you?
No, you just say it how you would want me to say it. I da 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 da. Da.
Oh,
Yeah,
so I
like
have to
that.
figure out what you need to say. I don't know.
Okay. I am going to say to you, you're going to say, I am a leader who positively changes my culture.
Okay. I am a leader who positively changes my culture.
Yes, because you have it. You know what I mean? You have it.
Okay.
You are an example,
All right.
but maybe a sharer. a sharer.
Oh, push the message
Yes.
and just lead by example.
Yes, and
Absolutely.
talk to people, because there are a lot of young women out here who are being misled. They don't know any better. They need somebody like you, the 20-year-olds and the 19-year-olds. They need somebody who can get in their ear and say, "Hey, baby, let me tell you something. I was you." You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I am a leader who positively, what did I say? Positively changes
Changes
my
my
culture.
culture.
Yeah.
I love it.
And if you want to give me mine, you can, or you can just text it to me later, and I'll put it in the thingamajig.
I do feel like I need to some time
Think
to think
about it.
about it.
You weren't prepared. I'm sorry.
I
That's my
was not.
bad.
I didn't know about that part.
It's okay. It's okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. I have enjoyed you so much. Thank you.
I love you. Thank you for having
I love
me.
you too,
This was
X.
good.
Yes. Wonderful. So once again, we're going to thank the Miss Star Chambers Garner. Would you like to go ahead and tell them how they can follow you?
Listen, okay, so my social media has been down for some time.
Okay.
I just created a new Instagram, so do not talk about me when you get on there and it's like 4 followers. What? It will be building up. But you can follow me on Instagram at star.sincere. Both words are spelled normally StarSincere. I'm also the co-editor of the Gospel Voice, like she mentioned. So if you want to follow us, we're Gospel Magazine, and we are focused on enriching the mind, body, and soul of the readers. So you can follow us at the Gospel Voice on Instagram. We're also on Facebook, the Gospel Voice.
Amen. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yes.
All right. So again, you guys, if you have not attacked those commitment issues, go ahead and do it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do
Hit
it. Just
that like
push that
button.
like, subscribe, and bell. You can do it, baby.
You can do it. You can do it.
Put your back into it. All right, guys. I'm gonna see you on the next episode next week. Thank you so much for joining us. God bless you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Go be great.